Hey folks, I'm Anslin Blow from AZ Entertainment. Here we are again, Down Under, with AJ on fun, fabulous food down under. Before we head on down to Sydney, let's go say hello to our friend in France, Chef Benjamin Fisher. Hi, Ben.
Hello everyone, good evening. I hope everyone's alright. I'm looking forward to seeing what AJ's got to cook for us.
Wow, he's keeping it short and sweet today. That's lovely. We like short and sweet, don't we, on this show? So, right. Oh, wait. Let's go say hello to Ben's hair, too. Hi, Ben's hair. It's an ongoing theme, Ben and his hair, isn't it?
Hi. Tonight I've gone for the more sleek look. Not so rugged. But you know, one has to try.
One has to indeed. I'm having a bad hair day, so someone's got to have a good hair day. So, right, let's head on over to Sydney and say hello to AJ. Hi, AJ. Anna Jane.
Hi, Alison. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Tonight. Yeah, it's tonight over there.
Tonight over here.
It's about 5 a.m. So if I say something silly, it's because it's 5 a.m. Now, we're going to do something that is Turkish street food today, and I'm really excited about it. It's a really simple dish, but it's a dish that I think you're really going to enjoy. And it's a breakfast dish, so maybe next weekend or something you might want to make it. So, shall we get on with it?
Absolutely. Tell us a little. So it's of Turkish origin.
It is, and it's from. This is my friend Sonna's book. In the promo, I talked about it. It's an incredibly beautiful, luscious book full of wonderful, wonderful things. And every recipe, I've tasted so many of these, but every recipe in here is doable. And that's quite an achievement with he's a really, high-flying chef. But everything in here you can do yourself. And it is just a really, Ben and Aslan would tell you that there are recipe books and recipe books, but he's travelled to Turkey with this one, and it's seriously a sexy cookbook,
Excellent. And it's called Anatolia?
Yes. He's called it Anatolia, which for those of you who don't know is what Turkey was previously.
Okay.
Before Ataturk made it.
The recipe you're cooking is from the book, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I'm going to refer to the book because I want you to understand how absolutely simple this is.
Excellent. Let's get going.
There are a few things in here that make it really technically it's easy. It's easy, but there are a couple of techniques in here that you'll find really interesting. Now, the ingredients, simple. You need onion, you need tomatoes. Now, this is a bull pepper or a green pepper. It's not, it's very close to a capsicum.
Yeah.
So, or what do they call capsicums? They call capsicums peppers in America.
Peppers. Hold up the bull pepper. And I'm just going to repeat a line I said last week. Size matters, folks.
Yes. The bigger, the less potent. So, unlike chilies, this is not remotely peppery. It's got a sweetness to it. If you can't find one, don't be panicking about that. Just go and get yourself a regular big green pepper, or get yourself a green pepper.
Sweet peppers, Spanish sweet peppers, and so on. Okay.
Okay. So, one of the things that you need to do, and if you're ever cooking with tomatoes, we don't want this dish to be too wet. So if you don't want a dish to be too wet and you're cooking with tomatoes, you need to peel the tomato firstly, because it's going to be it's going to have a better texture because the skin actually doesn't break down. Secondly, you need to de-seed it and take all that moisture out. So the first thing that I'm going to do is you just need to put a little cut in the top of the tomato.
Okay.
And then I'm putting it into some boiling water.
Okay.
Literally for 30 seconds. And I put a timer.
All righty.
Just in case I start talking.
So you're just going to show us how to blanch and peel a tomato now. Okay.
Yeah, and take the seeds out, because it's a technique that if you use it for dishes where you're using fresh tomato, it just makes them not so sloppy. Because I know myself, when I first started cooking and I tried cooking the tomato, I think, God, I can never get the moisture out. And then I realized that, oh, look at that. Fantastic. Okay, so that's as long as it takes. Then you go from here. I don't know if that is as long as it takes. Anyway, so you're going to then put it into a bowl of water that is cold. I put ice cubes in this and then melt it. So you just put it into this for a minute. And then it should, in theory, be really, these are not as ripe as I would like. Now, see how that just comes off really easily? The tomato skin. We're just turning into autumn here. And so it's really, it's becoming more difficult to find fabulous tomatoes. I mean, for me, I'm so finicky about tomatoes. It's always a really, really, it's a task in itself. But I noticed yesterday it was a real issue finding ripe tomatoes, and I haven't found them. So go for a ripe tomato with this dish, because it'll give you more flavour. Okay? And as you're going into summer, you are going to be able to start getting some really good tomatoes.
Yes, we are. It's always lovely this time of year when all the different tomatoes start appearing, isn't it, Ben? What are your? Do you have a favourite variety?
I do like there's a variety called Sweet Jack. It's really, really nice. It's quite common here. But like literally this morning we were at the markets and there was just tons, absolutely tons of just fresh, nice peppers coming through. Everyone with their plants which they're selling. Everything's booming. So yeah, it's been a really nice. Spring is definitely here and sprung, and yeah, looking forward to all of the glories of summer.
See, we're really lucky because being in a temperate climate, and there's your tomato skin, so that's fine. Now, being in a temperate climate, we get pretty good fresh produce year round. It's always available, so it's not a big deal. But
so if you can just drag that closer to you, AJ, that's it. So everyone can see what you're doing. Okay.
Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm de-seeding it. So I'm taking out the seeds, which are the juicy part, because they're in all that fog.
Right, so you just scoop.
Sorry?
I was just saying, I was just narrating, as it were. Talking everyone through what you're doing. Scooping out the seeds with a spoon, yeah?
Yes, absolutely. Just a teaspoon, because you don't want a big spoon, because the tomatoes aren't that big. So there's one side done, follow.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'm just going to go say hello to a few people in the audience. We've got Carmen, Yasmina, Michael Thomas, Nama, Jamalasi, Elena Bellametti. Hi, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. And everyone does agree that size does matter. I'm taking a bit poetic justice, a little bit poetic license, they call it, not justice. Yeah, with that one.
Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to I'm using, as I said to you earlier, I think I said it because sometimes when it's this early, I think I say things, but I've said them in my head. They haven't come out of my mouth. I'm going to make this in a smaller portion. And the reason that I'm going to make it in a smaller portion is because I don't want to throw all the food out. Sure. I will put up a recipe that will be enough for a good 4 people. Now, this is a dish that you serve in the dish you cook it. I've chosen to use this one because I think it's a really pretty dish.
It certainly is.
It's actually Indian, I think.
It's a little bolty. It's a mini bolty dish, isn't it? Really bolty.
Yeah.
Bolty.
So what you're looking,
Go on.
what you're looking to do is you're looking to make your onion and everything into roughly 1 centimetre sections.
Okay.
So about a quarter of an inch. Okay. Now I'm sure that everybody knows this, but if you want to get a really good dice on an onion, you need to put individual slicer bits down here, like this. My knife could have done with a sharpen. Then go in through the
AJ, move the board to your right a little bit, please. That's it. Okay, go on. Much better.
Okay, so you slice down this way, then you go halfway in, and then when you slice, you get a really, really beautiful fine dust onion.
Fabulous trick.
It's just a really easy thing to do. And with the end bit, just chop it up like that. Unless you want to just throw it out, which is what most good chefs do, but I don't like wastage, so I don't.
No, most good chefs just stop.
Pardon me?
And I love. Go on, Ben. You. What are we saying?
The end of the onion is always for the stock pot.
Okay, that's a good idea.
But if I'm not making stock, then it's just going to get thrown out.
I love onions. I use lots of onions in my cooking, so.
Yes, but I'm not cooking that much at the moment because I'm quite busy doing other things. So essentially your ingredients, what you need to do is you need to make sure that your cup, a little bit of oil, because you always need a little bit of oil. And all your ingredients, what you're really going for is you want to have them about 1 centimetre.
So you're cutting them all basically to about the same size, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm actually cutting the onion a little bit smaller.
Okay.
And I always take that little end bit out of the tomato. By the time you've de-seeded and taken the skin off, it's tiny, but it's just something you don't want in there because it's got a bit of it's just hard, really. You know, the stem bit.
Yeah, I'm just going to bring up this comment because someone's just said what I said earlier on at the start when we were in the green room. Wow, your hair looks amazing, Annajane.
Oh, thanks, Chef Nell.
From Chef Nell.
Yeah, thank you. That's really sweet of you. I've cut it all off because I'm going tropical this week.
And she's just
because I want to do it exactly.
Yeah, she's cooking this Turkish street food out of a cookbook written by her a friend of hers called Anatolia. So she's just referring to the recipe.
Okay, so I just wanted to see what order he cooks it in. I would have pretty well thrown it in all together, but here we go. So first of all, you're going to put your onion in, and you're going to let that soften up, which will be nice. Then what we'll do is we'll put in the pepper. I've pre-cut some of it, and I'll just finish that off. The onion you need to make so that you can see through it, so it'll just be a few minutes. And again, if you really like pepper or capsicum more than you like anything else, put extra in. I'm the worst person with recipes and that's why I don't bake cakes, because I just don't follow them that well. And cake baking is a science. And you can't cheat.
So I'm just going to ask the audience if any of you is familiar with this recipe, and if any of you has been to Turkey. This dish that AJ is cooking is fairly similar to shakshuka, which has variations all around North Africa, the Middle East, and Turkey as well. But in shakshuka, the only difference is that you have the eggs whole in the sauce. So let's get back to AJ. So tell me who's been to Turkey. Let us know. So Joy Stewart's just joined us as well. She says, hello, great to see AJ cooking.
Hi, Joy. Okay. So the onion's starting you've got that waft of onion and it's starting to, you know, you can smell the caramelization on it. So
Yeah, you've got.
Pop in the peppers.
Okay.
Or the capsicum. And let that cook on for a little bit more. Essentially, if you were timing it, do the onions for 5 minutes, the peppers for 5 minutes, the tomato for 5 minutes, then you add your egg. But
okay. I have a so as that's cooking, I have a question from Namal Diaz in Sri Lanka. He'd like to know. He'd like to know, there are many street food for dinner and some street food for breakfast, and is there any reason for that? And how about the street food in your various countries? He'd like to know. For those of you who are watching, we've got Croatia, we've got Spain, we've got the US, so you know, chime in with your favorite street food, whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Back to AJ.
Well, in Australia, street food tends to be a hamburger or something. And again, when we go out, Namal, this actually is a breakfast dish, Namal, so you'll be very happy to know we're eating breakfast at breakfast.
for a change, right?
For a change.
Not prawn wonton or something. Right, Ben, tell us about street food in France, because that's good, of course.
Yeah, there's obviously, you know, you've got the classic sort of croissant in the chocolatine and the petit suisse and things like that, you know, which is, you know, boulangeries are open every day. You know, the first thing in the morning, that's normally the first thing you can smell. But, you know, more modernly, they do like small bits of bread, just sort of finger-sized, and lace them in there with Nutella and chocolate and, you know, different berries or figs and things like that. And you sort of pick them up in the morning and you eat them before you sort of, you know, go for a surf or, you know, or if you're working or whatever. But yeah, it's really good. It's picking up. France is very behind. They're very traditional. They stay in their food culture. Now they're starting to come out, and it's.
Well, seriously, Ben. With the boulangerie and places like that, why wouldn't you stay in your culture? Why wouldn't you stay with fresh bread?
It's true, but people just want to sort of, you know, like, because they travel all over the world now and it's so easy to travel. You know, when people come here, they expect what they can get in Australia or California or New Zealand. The same as English do when we go to Australia or if we're even at home, you know. I know in Aslin would tell you there's so many diverse foods in the UK, and you don't have to be in London or in the centre of Bristol to be able to pick up that.
That's right. I'm just going to put a bit of salt and pepper again, as I say over and over again. Use good quality salt and pepper. You'll see here that I've got this, and it's kind of a coarse-grained black pepper. And at the moment, I'm using just a Himalayan pink salt, which is quite pretty.
Okay, so we've got Carmen Mandich and Leroy Young, both been to Turkey twice, and Leroy says he's had kebabs in Turkey, and they're bigger than the ones we get here in England. Yasmina says in Croatia, different types of street food, most popular pizza slices, hot dogs, Turkish cevapi, and bakery products. So there you go. Yeah. And Carmen's favorite street food is churros.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
I'm terrified about how much weight I'm going to put on while I'm away.
So tell us where are you going and when?
I'm off to Nemea, which is a French territory originally. Oh, I don't know why I'm separating those. Must be early.
You'd think it was 5 o'clock in the morning there.
Oh, you would. Anyway, so this is all coming together quite nicely now. So, in using this dish, the one thing I can think about, Aslan, is it's got very high bits on the side, so I can't actually cover it.
Never mind. Never mind. It's okay. We can only see just a part of the pan because we needed to see your chopping board. So don't worry. We'll see the final product when you bring it out.
Oh, that's bad, isn't it?
Don't worry.
Do that.
You'll have to come all the way here to move your iPad, so that's okay. We're good.
I can do that.
Go on.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some eggs in now, and I'm only going to use 2 because I just don't think, to me, this is like a really complicated way of making an omelette. But the difference is that you don't, just so everybody's watching, I automatically started to separate the egg. I didn't need to separate the egg. However, when I use eggs, it doesn't matter where I get them from, I always break them into another dish. Because if you were to get an egg that was not terrific, you ruin the whole dish. And it does happen if you're buying organic, if you're buying, eggs that are fresh from people.
Okay. Yeah, move it while I bring up another comment or two. We've got Michael Thomas saying he's got lots of favorites, but I do enjoy something called the Philly steak and cheese omelette. It can be modified into breakfast,
can you
lunch,
see
or
the
dinner.
stove?
And okay, let me just go come back to you. Yes, we can see the stove perfectly now.
Okay, I think that's important because I want you to see everything that I'm doing. Now, all you need to do is you don't scramble the eggs, but you do give them a quick stir, like that, and then you just leave them until it becomes the whites are cooked, which is really important. Because as you know, well, you may not, but for me, if an uncooked egg white comes anywhere near me, it's enough to make me throw up. It's the thing I have.
So we've got one person in the audience who's heard of shakshuka. Chef now says she's made shakshuka many times and she's also added potatoes to the dish. So shakshuka, as I was saying earlier, is very similar to what AJ is cooking, except that you leave the eggs alone.
Now, what we're also going to do is we're going to top it with some lovely, this is really beautiful flat leg parsley. And I can't tell you how hard it was to get yesterday. This is another thing, changing seasons. I always chop it quite finely because I love the flavour of it. You don't want too much of it, but at the same time you want to get all that flavour through. Now that probably is more than most people would use, but for me, I just love the flavour of it. And this, just so you know, is looking pretty good.
Is it beginning to set? Is the egg beginning to set?
It's done. It's set. Pretty close to. It smells pretty good too.
I bet it does.
I wish I had a lid that I could put on the top. You know how you just, what is it upstairs for thinking? Bit of alfoil will do the trick, won't it?
So you're just going to cover it with a bit of foil to encourage the egg to cook quicker, or yeah?
Well, just because I don't want the whole thing to cook, I just want the egg white to cook, and that isolates what I want to cook. It just makes the top steam a bit, so that'll take a minute, which is fine. And then we'll be good to go, I think.
Excellent. We'll say hello. Well, we've said hello to Chef now because we've read out her comment. And someone else has just joined us. Lee Spencer saying hello to everyone.
Lee is a master butcher.
Ah, yes. I can. Let's go back to his picture, shall we? And we'll see what he's doing. Yes, I think we can tell that.
Yes. And
Certainly.
He's a meat lover, Aslan.
Ah, well, we'll get on, Lee. I love my meat too.
Well,
I will not say that I've been repeating since last week.
Size does matter.
What was that, Ben?
Size does matter.
And
especially when you love your meat.
Aslan and I are both meat lovers.
Yeah.
So
I'm more of a fish lover.
So You can see here that that's beautifully, can you see that?
Absolutely, fabulous.
Just, the eggs are just set. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some parsley on the top. And then I'm going to flip that board over, and by miracle, that will become a serving board.
Mm.
And now, what you could do, I've chosen to go with just some flatbread here this morning. But if you could get yourself a really fabulous loaf of doughy bread that you could sort of stick in here and really, really enjoy, then I think that would be a marvellous thing. But
Yeah.
I think that's really quite a pretty dish.
Beautiful.
Can you see that?
Absolutely. Let's take a picture of that, shall we? That's it. And when we're done, when we're off air, just take a photo of that and just post it up as well. So we've got so we've got run us through the very quick recipe once again, AJ.
Okay. It's really quick, it's really delicious, it's really easy. The only complicated thing would be taking doing the tomatoes, and you need to put a cross here. You need to plunge them into very hot water for about 30 seconds, then plunge them into ice water. That will make it really easy to get the skin off, okay? Then chop them in half, dig out all the seeds. It's really important, and take off the little stalk bit. You need red onion. That is optional, the onion. I personally like the red onion. The other thing that I was thinking that I would really like to do it with would be leek. I think that'd give it a really lovely soft flavour. And then you need, of course, your bullhorn pepper. Or if you don't have that, just use capsicum. It's not an issue. And then just a couple of eggs. Now I'll post a recipe that will mean that you can cook for a heap of people, like 4 people. I'll do 8 eggs and that sort of thing. I've just gone for a small amount because I had that dish and I thought it looked pretty in the dish, and I just think that would be nice. I mean, if you served in dishes like that to everybody and cooked for individual ones, that'd be a really pretty way to serve breakfast.
Absolutely, and that's a great presentation there itself, right there with the chopping board. Always fabulous. I'm just going to bring up this comment from Namal because he's been asking everyone about street food. And in Sri Lanka, he says that the most popular street food is kotu, which is basically chopped up pieces of flat bread, fried up with, he says, chicken, egg, beef, etc. It really is lovely. Have you had it, AJ?
Yes, I have. And the thing that I really, really love, when I was in Malaysia, I loved roti canai. That was the best breakfast ever. And that's very street foody too.
Yes, so it's called, it's the same thing, but it's called roti paratha. It's paratha made with white flour, for those of you who are familiar with paratha. In Singapore, that is, it's called paratha. Ben, are you familiar with Sri Lankan food?
I'm not really. It's a bit out of depth for me. I'm more sort of classically trained over to Europe and sort of things like that. But no, I'm really interested. Like I said to you a few weeks ago, I've really got itchy feet at the moment, and really spreading my wings again.
Cool. We'll have to expand our repertoire.
No,
right.
we've got something very similar. Obviously, you know, I'm on the border to Spain, so we've got lots of tapas. And you know, tapas ranges from in the breakfast until the evening. So yeah, you know, there's lots of sort of that to explore. And as you go further down into Spain, you know, you get different spices and different flavors, and it's really is. It's a lovely place to live.
Yeah, sounds like it. You're just on the border. So AJ, it makes a good breakfast. Do you think that can be cooked for lunch, perhaps even?
Absolutely. This is a perfect brunch dish.
Okay.
I think anywhere where you would serve frittata, you could serve this.
Okay. Yeah.
Where you serve quiche, you could serve this. Okay. You know, but then you know my views on eating. I eat anything at any time of the day.
Yes, as we have all seen. Yes.
But in this instance, I'm not doing an AJ thing. I think anywhere where you would eat anything with eggs and vegetables, you can eat this. But and it would be really sturdy. Like I think if you ate this, you wouldn't need to eat until dinner. Like it's a really substantial dish.
It is, with the eggs and of course the carbs as well for dipping in. So that's there you go, everyone. That's Menemen, a Turkish street food cooked by AJ. The recipe is actually off a book by a friend of hers called Anatolia. The book
is by a guy called Soma Sivriolu, and I'll just show it to you again because I've tasted so much out of it. I think it may even be on Amazon, but if it's in one of the bigger bookshops, I'd really recommend you get a hold of it. It's the kind of, I'm actually taking it on holidays with me to have a read of it. You know, it's got that you know how Ottolenghi's books are very luscious?
Mm.
You know, yeah, well this is just as luscious. So
okay, excellent. So I've just posted the name of the author in the event stream. So go check him out. I'm sure it's available on Amazon, wherever you are. So yeah, so that was a fabulous quick.
Very easy. What time is it?
8:30 on the dot here. So woohoo, AJ does it again. So a quick and luscious dish. Oh, speaking of luscious, AJ, tell us about your lipstick. I love the color.
This is my one indulgence. It's Christian Dior, and the pigments in their lipsticks are second to none. And I have it here because I just put it on before I went on air because I'll have to take it off because I am going back to bed, people. It's a hybrid, and it's Christian Dior, and so it's like a cross between a lip gloss and a lipstick, but it stays on terribly well.
I absolutely love it.
A heap of that duty free.
So I'm gonna have to check that out tomorrow. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, AJ. I'm just gonna go over to Ben to get Ben to let Ben say goodbye to us and tell us if there's anything happening this week for you, Ben.
I'm definitely going to be looking for lipstick. I'm not quite
sure
what style, shade, but I'll get some advice in one of the stores, I think. Yeah, well, busy plans this week. No, lots on this week, a few cakes to make. No, lots on, plenty of posts coming up. So yeah, normal sort of stuff. But thanks.
Excellent, cool.
I'm also looking forward to the dancing next week on your other show.
Yeah, right, cool. Okay, so we'll let AJ take us out. But before we do that, so I'm just going to say thank you to everybody who tuned in to watch us. Carmen, Lee, Spencer, Namal Diaz. So we're going, Spain, Sri Lanka, Australia, Lena Belometti, Yasmina Brozovic in Croatia, Chef Nell, Michael Thomas, Leroy Young. So we're very, very global. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching this very quick Turkish street food. Next week, next Sunday, Savor the Flavor still isn't back yet. Savor the Flavor is still on holiday between seasons. What we will have is Zvonimir Fras, a dance teacher. You know Zvonimir. He was cooking Roti John on Simply Singapore last week. He'll be showing us how to cha-cha with Yasmina Brozovic. So join us. Anybody wants to be on the panel, let me know, and I'll get you an invite. So I'm going to let AJ say goodbye.
Okay. Well, thank you for watching. It's really sweet of you. Next month, I've got to go. I'm about to go to Nemea. And then when I come back, I'm going to the Noosa International Food and Wine Festival. So I'm hoping up there to do a little bit of filming, and if we can slot that into the next show, that'd be good. And yeah, it should be a good show next time because I'm hoping to have lots of things that I can show you from my travels.
Great, fantastic. Yeah,
and that should be around the 24th, 23rd, 24th of May or something like that.
Yeah. Fun, fabulous food is always on the third Sunday of the month. All righty. Say goodbye,
it's got to be the 4th next month.
Yeah.
Okay. Stay safe.
Say goodbye.
Bye-bye.